Hello YouTube, this is the Mac Helper here and welcome to your very first C++ tutorial. Before we get started, I would like to apologize to some of you guys because in one of my Java tutorials, in the fifth one, I said that this tutorial about C++ would be made with a program that would run on all platforms. This is not true because once I tested out CodeBlocks fully, I found it was not so good for Mac. However, it is a great program for Windows. So I will be using Xcode, but I will also be showing you the website for CodeBlocks and Visual C++, which are two programs. Visual C++ and CodeBlocks are running on Windows, and CodeBlocks is definitely running on Linux as well, but I'm not sure if Visual C++ is also for Linux. Also, before we get started, I would like to say this tutorial is gonna be weekly. Every week on a Saturday I will upload at least one video. Or try to upload at least one video, and sometimes on Wednesdays or other days I will upload another video as well, just when I feel like it actually. The next thing I was gonna say is that as I said, I will be using Xcode. I am also in iOS development. I just started iOS development basically. But I am a registered developer. There is a free version of developer, but when you use this and you make an app for your iPhone or iPad, you cannot test it on the device itself. You can only test it with the simulator. So I did pay the $99 to be developer, so I can put it on my devices as well. And I will be making a iOS development tutorial. Also, I would like to explain what C++ is. I know most of you guys will notice, but there might be someone who doesn't. C++ is basically a programming language which is used to make programs. And I will be explaining how this all works. So let's get started by opening up our web browser, and at first I'll show you how to get CodeBlocks. CodeBlocks, you just go to codeblocks.org. I apologize for the slow internet, and then go to downloads. And then right here we go to download the binary release. Once we get here, you have to make sure if you have Windows, if you're running Windows, you download the CodeBlocks MINGW setup, because here you will also have a compiler, and with the normal setup you will not. Go to the sourceforge.net link, and then download it. And for Linux there's a 32-bit and a 64-bit. I'm not sure which file you should download. I guess it's this one or this one, but I'm not sure. Just try it out, SourceForge, till it works. And then for Mac OS X it also exists, SourceForge, but I do not advise you to use this. I would advise you to use Xcode since it's free. And then for the other one, go to in Google, type in Visual C++. Okay, once we get here, it will be the first pop-up, Visual C++ 2010 Express. The Express version of all Visual C++ generations is free. You can just download and install it, and you can see here the Visual Studio 11 beta is available, if you want to try that as well. So let's close down our browser, and for Mac users, go to the App Store. You will be needing an Apple ID for this. However, you're not gonna have to need any money. You don't have to pay anything, and you could search Xcode there. But I'm just gonna click on Apple Apps, and then right on this page we go down. Final Cut is also a very useful program. However, I have the Final Cut Express version. Just saying, right here is Xcode. It does say install for me. However, it is a free version. It says install because there's a new version, 4.2. I still have 4, I think. Xcode 4, I'm not sure. But I am installing this now. I paused it for the purposes of this tutorial. But in the second or third tutorial, I will be having the new Xcode. Okay, so let's open up Xcode or whatever you're using, CodeBlocks or Visual C++. Okay, so once it is opened, you go to File, New Project, or you could do for Mac users Shift Command N. Then we'll bring you to this screen for Mac. Next, then title Lesson 1 Hello World. And then make sure in the type C++ is selected, not Foundation, not C, C++. And this box is checked. Then go to Next, click on Next, and right here you can select where you want to save. The file. I made a C++ folder for this tutorial, and let's press Create. Okay. So once that is created, you'll get this screen, and right here on the side we go to main.cpp. Just before we go on, for code blocks, when you make a new file, just make sure C++ is selected, and the rest should be selected by default. When you get here, it will. I will first start with setting up the console. Go to View, Debug Area, Activate Console. Once you then you will get this here. I would advise you to click right here on the right button, so you get this. So this actually takes up the whole space, and then click on All Output and go to Target Output. Okay, this program is a basic program, and it does work. Let's run it and see what happens. So basically what it does is it prints hello world to the screen. However, I do not like the setup of this here, basically because the defaults of code blocks and Visual C++. I did use Visual C++ before I got my Mac. Before I got this Mac, I had a PC, but I do not like it because it's the default in others programs. So we'll be changing this, and I will be using the other. Well, let's first change it. So we go using namespace std, and then we get rid of everything inside the brackets there for now, and then we delete std : : Right now it's gonna do the same thing as before. We'll print hello world to the screen. And personally, for me, it's much more convenient to work with, because we only have to declare std once and not before every statement. Okay, this is a setup I will be using all the time. Sometimes I might not show you the creation of the new project. I will just start like this for a tutorial, but I hope you now know how to make a new project. I think some explanation is needed here. This tutorial I personally think will be the hardest, because it's all new stuff, and after this it will be much easier all the other tutorials. The include IOStream just includes the file IOStream, and this file will be a statement that is in all programs. It includes IOStream, and I'm not gonna get into too much detail yet. Basically, it's just needed to be able to run the program. Same with using namespace std, and then we get to int main. Int main is basically, main is the name of the class, and int is just a type of variable. I will be explaining this later on, but basically this is what you need to know. The program, when you press run, the program will search for the class main and will start execution inside of the class main. If you do not have a class main, your program will not run. Okay, let's go to the next line. This is basically just some hints. It's not needed in the code. I can type whatever I want. It will not mess up the code because it's not included in the code. The two forward slashes basically makes a little note for yourself. You can write return 0. It would not do anything like that. Also, you could be using /*, and it would do the same, and you would be able to, keep writing notes to yourself as long as you want, as many lines as you want, until you write */. Then it stops, and how this is not with the double / sign. It's only working for one line, and only after the double slash. Next is cout double smaller than sign. In double quotation marks, hello world, /n, and then an asterisk, a semicolon, I mean. The semicolon is needed at the end of every statement. Basically, there's one statement per line, mostly. This will change later on. And then we have return 0. This actually returns 0 to the log, or wherever it returns it to. And what it does, if it returns this 0, it basically means that all the code inside main is run properly. Has run properly. If it does not return 0, that means there's an error somewhere. Okay, that's what you need to know. The curly brackets are just to the indicators of where what is inside the main class. Before we get started, I would like to erase the /n. I will be getting into this in the next tutorial. This is the end of the first tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and give me a thumbs up if this helped you, please. Also, feel free to leave a comment. Also, leave a comment if it's not about C++, but something else about Mac. I will be very happy to help you, and I'll make a tutorial about it. Furthermore, this is the end of tutorial 1 again. So I hope you watch my second video, second tutorial, which is more about printing things to the screen.